Wow. Look, we kind of like reverse roles here. As Drew has gone with the glasses, he looks very studious, and I've gone full like frat boy with the backwards hat today.
Yeah.
This is courtesy of our friends at the Web.com Tour Championship.
Woo!
Shout out to them. The next wave coming to Atlantic Beach Country Club.
Oh, yeah.
Starting September 20th. As they pointed out to us, free plug for those guys. If you want to go watch some really good golf out there at Atlantic Beach, you can do it for free, man. Free.
Free.
You go to webtourchampionship.com. There's a little button at the top that says claim grounds tickets. That's it. There's no credit card. There's no fee. That's it. Claim the tickets. Go. Free. Free golf. Go. It's a great scene out there. It was super fun last year I was out there. It's cool. It's for free. You know, my life motto, Drew, I live my life by one creed. If it's free, it's me.
And that's so fair.
Welcome. Beef here.
Hi, Drew.
Drew. You know him. You love him. Or should we say he's Clark Kent today?
Yeah, whatever works for you guys.
It's pretty amazing. You look very studious today.
Yeah, it's remarkable, you know. Sometimes I put on the glasses and people, they just don't even recognize me.
I expect you to really bring the heat with some sensational takes today.
You ever really wonder about that with Superman and stuff? When people have talked to me about that, they're like, and it happens to me sometimes when I'm bartending. I'll wear glasses to work every once in a while, and people who I've literally sat there and waited on many times are like, "Oh, you were new here?"
It's pretty remarkable.
I'm like, it's just glasses.
It's just glasses.
I have the same face.
It's still Drew.
It's remarkable.
And now it's not Drew.
I mean,
it's the Superman thing. When you take the glasses off, do you also add like a small curl in the front of your hair? Because that's also part of Superman's elaborate disguise.
That's fair.
That
really does it for people.
Off his forehead and puts on the glasses.
Who is that?
Who could it possibly be?
I don't know who that is.
Who knows? Could be anybody.
Remarkable.
Yeah. So we're it's up for debate. I don't necessarily agree, but it's up for debate that this is the biggest regular season game in the history of this team this week.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
But it's debatable.
It's
or at
massive.
Least regular season home game.
Yeah.
It's right up there with that Atlanta game in '96. It is a massive game Sunday.
I mean, this could really propel the whole season. You get this win now. You're 2-0. You look at the rest of the schedule. It's like these were two kind of make it or break it type games. You had to win that game against the Giants. You didn't want to come into this game 0-1, knowing it's a very losable game. Go ahead and steal this game. You're 2-0, heading into next week, and you know things are the Jags are actually off to a nice start. Previous years when they've kind of been slow, even last year, you know they would win a game, lose a game, win a game, lose a game, win a game, lose a game. If they're able to kind of get through the first half of this schedule. Maybe even unscathed. I mean, that's big time.
I mean, this has the potential. I mean, again, the potential. I'm not saying it is or will be, but it has the potential, depending on how the game unfolds.
Sure. That
when we look back at this could be kind of like almost a sea change type game, where you look back and it's like this is where the fortunes change for the franchise if they're able to exercise the demons of this AFC title game loss. I mean, the game would have to unfold a certain way for that to be the case. If they came out and absolutely just beat the ever-loving hell out of the New England Patriots, it could seriously propel this team in a very positive direction.
But the flip side of that, obviously, is this more so than any other regular season game that I can remember in recent memory. If you come out here and lay an egg, I mean, it's not just like, okay, well, Jags lost a game. It's fine. We'll get better next week. It's not like that. The Jags cannot come out here and lay an egg. They've been waiting since the AFC title game to get their revenge. Miles Jack said this is the biggest week of his life.
And he's not wrong. I mean, if you're Miles Jack, if you're Miles Jack, and you're coming off of an offseason where, honest to God, every damn day you have to hear Miles Jack wasn't down. Yeah. And you know that you made a career-making play in that game and you got hosed out of it by the officials. Yes, the chance to avenge that and the chance to prove once again who you are in this league for Miles Jack. Yeah, this is the biggest week. This is the biggest game of his life because it's a chance for him to really change things perception-wise. Not that the perception of Miles Jack was down, but just that Miles Jack's name is perpetually associated with a play that he made that didn't go his way by nothing of his doing. And it's a chance for him to amend that a little bit.
Really, when you think about it, like when you think about those Buffalo Bills teams of old, you think about, oh, they're the team that went to the Super Bowl 4 straight times and couldn't win.
Right.
If the Jags are able to kind of take that next step and go win a Super Bowl, the Miles Jack wasn't downplay will not be his story.
Right.
Now,
now it is.
If the Jags never get back, as far as the history
right.
of the NFL goes, that's what a lot of people who aren't Jags fans. I mean, granted, he could go on to have a fantastic career.
Right.
That's what people are going to remember him for.
If the Jags don't, in this window, win a title or at least get to a Super Bowl, then Miles Jack can have a Hall of Fame career, and in 20 years we'll be watching A Football Life, Miles Jack, and there will be, in that 60 minutes, there will be 10 minutes on Miles Jack wasn't down.
Yeah.
That's what it is, if they don't do something in addition to what they're already currently doing. And I feel like they're in a position. I mean, look, the NFL's a fickle thing, and the Patriots are a great team. They've shown throughout the last decade plus that the Patriots are not to be messed with. But, again, at some point, Father Time has to catch up, and windows have to close.
I mean, look what happened to the Seahawks. I mean, the Seahawks invested all this money in the defense. They had that championship window. They ended up only getting one out of it, but one is more than enough for me.
Look, they got one, and they were close to another one.
Yeah.
And look,
but now it's gone. It's done.
Gone.
They're all gone. The Legion of Boom is gone.
And look, unless you've got a Tom Brady, a guy who is playing at the ultimate level and defies Father Time and defies reason by being still great north of 40, then your championship window, when it opens, is 3 to 5 years. That is it.
Yep.
And that's the window this team is in right now. That was year 1, 2017. This is year 2.
And if you're able to kind of draft some rookies who can maybe kind of extend
that's the only way to extend it.
That's
right.
the only way to do it.
Because at some point, you're going to have to start paying these dudes you drafted who are the cornerstones of your defense and the cornerstone of your team. And that means other guys are going to have to go. The
first casualty of that really was Aaron Colvin.
Aaron Colvin
the Jags would have loved
guy.
to have had
They'd
Aaron
love
Colvin
to keep him, but they couldn't. But, at some point, you're going to have to pay Jalen Ramsey, and you're going to have to pay Miles Jack, and you're going to have to pay Yannick Ngakoue. And that means at some point, guys like Marcel Darius and Malik Jackson and Calais Campbell and A.J. Boye are probably going to, at some point, see themselves fall victim of salary cap math. But it's not happening yet, and it's not happening for the next couple of years. And that's why the window is now. That's why this game Sunday is so big, just to change the perception. Because if you go out there and you lose in New England, especially if you lose badly in New England, then the perception of your team is, yeah, you're a nice defense. Yeah, you're a good team. You're not good enough.
Right.
But if you can go out there, you can beat New England, or at least battle them again like you did in that AFC title game, then you're showing that, you're on par. Yeah. You're one of them.
I agree.
You're one of the elite.
This is a big game.
It's such a big.
And by the way, little station
litmus test.
Little station plug for you. Since we're talking Jags, our guy Hayes Carline wrote an article yesterday basically saying it's time for the Jags to go get Dez Bryant. What do you think about that?
I don't think so.
Don't think so.
I've been down on Dez, and it's not about Dez. We got a lot of messages on the text line today and tweets saying, "Oh, Dez wouldn't fit chemistry wise. Dez wouldn't fit." The locker room culture.
I think there's enough veterans in that.
I don't give a damn about that. Yeah. Those guys will wash away whatever negative energy Dez Bryant would bring into the building, and he's going to bring it because that's just his personality.
Sure.
Dez can't play anymore, guys. Dez is done. Look at the numbers the last few years. Dez is finished. Yeah, he could probably maybe catch 30 balls and some touchdowns. He's not good enough to come here and be your number 1 or number 2 guy. And if that's what you think you're getting when you sign that guy, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Dez is not that guy anymore. Yeah, 3-4 years ago, I'd have been absolutely elated to have Dez Bryant on this team. Now, no. Dez is done.
He would just be a slightly better version of Dante Moncrief.
Look, and I get it. People are down on Moncrief right now, and I get
one
it, man.
Game, it's gonna
but it's one game, and let's give it time. I mean, Moncrief, when it all shakes out, may end up, you look back and may end up being the 3rd or 4th receiver on this team.
Yeah.
In your perception, when it all shakes out. Right now, he's starting first team with Keelan Cole, but it may not rattle out that way by the time the season's over.
Look,
give it time.
If it gets to the point here now in the next 4 or 5 games where the Jags just cannot get a passing game going and they really are desperate for something, then I think you can start making an argument of let's go outside the organization and see what we can find. But right now we're a game in, a game where you lost Leonard Fournette. They're telling you it's not that big of an injury. I'll tell you, I'll be surprised. Here's the thing. I know Leonard wants to play in this football game. But I will tell you that I think if it was any other regular season game, I don't think Leonard plays Sunday. I'm not sure if he will or not. I just know as far as hamstring goes, as a guy, really anyone who's ever had a nagging hamstring injury, minor or not, it's going to be there. Leonard said he had the same injury in high school. My guess is this is something that's nagged him for a while. So I don't really know, where they're at as far as him playing on Sunday. But I'm interested to see that. But again, I think I understand if you're without Leonard Fournette for an extended period of time. Look, here's the thing about T.J. Yeldon. T.J. Yeldon is a good backup. He's really good when he's complimenting Leonard Fournette. That's when T.J. Yeldon is good. Change of pace. Another guy you can throw back there. He's a really, really good backup. When you are relying on T.J. Yeldon for your run game, I just don't think he's going to be good enough to take the pressure that needs to be taken off of Bortles. Right. Because the bottom line is, I'll agree with Jack's fans on this. The receivers, they really weren't getting separation on Sunday. We couldn't get the run game going after Fournette was gone, which in turn then it's all on Blake Bortles. And look, we can say what you want about Blake Bortles. The guy needs a little bit of help. If he gets a little bit of help, he's good enough. But he needs a little bit of help. So I think, if you're 4 or 5 games down the road and you look back at the offense and you're just not getting anything going in the passing game and the run game's really struggling and you're winning games by the skin of your teeth because of defense, then maybe you could say, let's go get a playmaker. But for now, one game in, I say let's pump the brakes on a Dez Bryant edition.
You know who said everything that needs to be said about Dez Bryant, and they said it yesterday through actions and not words? The New England Patriots said everything that needs to be said about Dez Bryant yesterday. New England Patriots, coming into this game against Jacksonville, arguably the best secondary in the league, their wide receiver depth chart was Chris Hogan, Philip Dorsett, and Cordero Patterson. Did they go sign Dez Bryant? No, they didn't. You know who they signed? Corey Coleman and Benny Fowler. Corey Coleman, who cried to the Browns because he couldn't start for the Browns and got traded to the Bills, who then cut him. They signed Corey Coleman.
The Bills cut him.
And Benny Fowler.
The Bills' offense is so bad.
They decided Benny Fowler and Corey Coleman were better options than Dez Bryant. That's all you need to know.
That's fair.
The end.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cut the check. On top of that, man, the college football weekend, boy, it seems like a yearly thing now, Drew. College football, this time in the Carolinas, having their schedule wrecked by weather. And look, I mean, I get it, man. Florence is rolling in, and she's coming in hot, so you got to clear out. And that means 3 games involving top 25 teams are being postponed due to weather. Maybe most notably because they're riding a little bit of a wave. Would probably be UCF, North Carolina. I think that'd be a game that UCF could win and they could sort of hang their hat on. But use Jenkins more in the pass game. Maybe. You gotta bail on these games. You gotta postpone them. Was it Danny Cannell who stuck his fat foot in his mouth yesterday and said, you should wait a couple days on these games?
He did. It's
just stupid, Danny. Don't be stupid. I know you are stupid, but don't be stupid.
It's just a college football game.
They're just games, man.
It's frustrating, but I mean, you gotta err on the side of caution here.
You gotta be careful, man. And look,
because I'll tell you one thing: you stick around, you have that game, that hurricane hits in the middle. It's a disaster. It's a disaster.
I mean, when the state orders an evac, you don't, as a college football institution, go, well, hold on. Yeah. Let's see what's going on.
Can't do that.
Man, Katie's all fired up, man. Katie's a Dogs fan, so she's riding high right now.
That's great.
It's been a miserable, 30 years for her. So
38? Is it 38? Is that what it is?
She's back now. She's feeling great. Fresh off a, silver medal finish last year.
Yeah.
She's feeling great.
Sure.
We
know how that typically works out for teams.
Yeah. Look, this guy, he's a Knoll. His dad's a Gator. We've got Canes working. It's a miserable time here in Florida.
Oh yeah.
For football fans
Good
across
times.
the Sunshine State, it's gross. All I know before we say farewell is, man, we needed that one yesterday. Shutout win with Joey Q on the mound. Needed it. Back up 2 in the Central, and I think your dad was right today when he said that last night the Mets finally. Yeah, he was hanging on for dear life and beating the drum. I think last night finally stuck a fork in the Jacob deGrom Cy Young campaign. As again, he had his 26th straight quality start, but took the L in that one as they lost to the Stinkfish. So
yeah,
that's probably not enough.
It's just not fair, man. Because
not.
He should win the Cy Young.
It's not.
He really should.
Far and away, may be a little hyperbolic, but definitely
I think he's the
best pitcher this year.
I think he's the clear Cy Young Award winner, and he might not get it because of his record.
He's clearly the best pitcher in the National League. Probably the best pitcher in Major League Baseball this year. He's now Scherzer's been dynamite, and Scherzer's probably going to win the Cy Young. But Jacob deGrom has been every bit as good as Max Scherzer. He just doesn't play for a competitive team, and that's going to cost him because he's gotten hosed. He hasn't won games because of a lack of run support, and he's gotten hosed by that. But ultimately, when the voters start voting, and it's the writers who vote on these things, that's a factor that he can't control. But
I just wonder that maybe it's become such a thing that everybody knows how bad the Mets screw him that people might look past.
I think so, but I think games like last night where, yeah, you threw a quality start, but you got a loss against the Marlins.
Yeah.
That just, when you're a voter and Scherzer's out doing Scherzer things, it's hard to not vote for Max Scherzer.
Sure.
Look, man, if it was me, I'd be looking at the advanced metrics and showing where Jacob deGrom is so good. I would vote for Jacob deGrom if I had a Cy Young vote. But, the trend seems to be that Max Scherzer's going to get another one, and probably so. Joseph says a Cards versus Red Sox World Series. If that's the case, Joseph, I'm rooting for a sinkhole in St. Louis to take out both teams. I'm only half joking. On that note, we'll say goodbye.
Okay.
Love you, good. Peace out. Sinkholes for life.